This is the bad-mouthed blacksmith, yo terrible ruler. So, something you missed because the camera was a piece of junk in the wasteland here today. I had to fold and forge weld that bar to try to get it to work, because it had stupid cracks in it, as I will explain. So please watch and enjoy for your pleasure of eyes.
What's up, YouTube? This is your benevolent dictator, the bad-mouthed blacksmith, and we're gonna be forging some more today. But a quick update. This is the bar. It had too many micro fractures in it, so we had to fold it and forge weld it together. A few cracks on that side we're gonna grind right out, and we're gonna just grind the edges and see if those are just stress fractures. But overall, I'm more optimistic now than I was yesterday when I did that. And we got a package here at the forge today. Everybody wondering what it is? I got my Tonto out here. We're doing this. Let's just say I burned up the machine that I really need. Like, you kind of have to have that machine as a knife maker, and it died. It was my fault, but it died. Sucks. Also, I burned a hole in the forge with some borax, so that kind of sucks, but I'll reline it, or put some extra lining back in there and fix it up, and we'll try to borax proof the forge as best we can. You can't do it perfectly, but you can kind of do it. I'm sorry for the view. Here. Get you all back here. Now you won't be able to see everything, but it's a nice view outside today.
So yeah, just unboxing the grinder and everything. We're getting everything done here. This is a great piece of machinery. It grinds out bevels so well and so nicely compared to the 4x36. I mean, the 4x36 should never even be used for knife making, so if you're thinking about getting into it, get yourself a 1x30 or a 2x27 or a 2x42 or a 2x48 or a 2x72. 2x72 is a true knife grinder. Your bevels will come out so clean and so much nicer. I don't know how I did it without this thing nowadays, or at least now. I've only grinded one knife on it, and it's made that much of a difference. This thing's awesome. So just a little bit more narration. This is just me grinding the knife or grinding this bar, which I thought seemingly had cracks. And like I said, I actually found cracks in that original bar I showed you in the last video that I thought was good. I don't think I forged it a high enough heat, but I also think there were more cracks in it than I thought. But the 52100 has to be forged at a high heat. But I actually folded it and forge welded it into one bar to try to alleviate the symptoms, and I actually forge welded it together pretty well. But this is just me grinding it, trying to get it all shaped up and everything, trying to get the cracks out of it, which is a big deal overall. So yeah, that's what's happening here.
That's looking good. Liking it. I'll figure it out some more. It gets really hot. I don't like that, but I'll figure out a way to get that coolant, or get it cooled. So we're going to get the forge heated up, and we're going to start forging this knife. We'll be back. Back. We're getting it heated up. Okay. Go.
awesome, actually. It worked really well. I mean, it moved metal better than that 4x36 half horsepower. It's awesome. But yeah, we're just trying to get the points on this knife in the curve. Basically, we want it to kind of look like this, like, you know, like this, with a slight curve in it. So we're going to see what we can do with that, and we're going to get it all worked up.
So yeah, this is me singing. I'm a hip hop head, singing to a lot of Lupe radio on Pandora at this time. Having fun forging, but forging in futility, really. As you should know by now, this was recorded, or what I'm recording right now, and what you're listening to is me after everything's done. I spent way too much time and effort on working this knife, or this bar of steel right here, and it extremely angered me. I mean, it pissed me off, but it was a good lesson learned. Like I said, this is literally me sitting here singing and trying to bang this thing out, and just literally trying to make it work, and it would not work. You heard me talking about putting a recurve in the blade and all, and basically this is kind of the same thing I did with the other knife. That, like I said, I don't have that forge. I don't have this knife blank that actually worked. I don't have it on video because the camera was dead at the time, otherwise I would have. But it actually went a lot better than this, and that piece of steel that I got out of that was a lot better. I also just took it more slowly, more carefully. You see me hitting it here at really low heats and stuff like that. And I found out that you just can't do that with the 52-100 in the ball bearings. Even though it has 1084, that stuff has a tendency to crack if you start working at really anything lower than like really, really hot. And basically right here I'm just admitting like I'm having trouble. I'm having a lot of trouble. And that's what it turned out to be, is me just having a lot of trouble with this thing because of that metal and all. Just getting more and more pissed off and frustrated with it. I mean, what a piece of junk. POS, and you know what the S means. I gotta say, I shouldn't have wasted the propane or the time on this thing, but I had to try to find a way to make it work. And I actually said in the video, like, oh yeah, we're trying to get it work because I'm a blacksmith and I can get it to work. And this time it was just a failure. A pretty nasty one too, one that pissed me off a lot. So yeah, working a useless piece of steel, I'm gonna try to teach you all something real quick right here, even if you don't blacksmith. You need to learn when something is useless. You need to learn when something is useless as fast as possible, so you don't spend time and energy and everything else on trying to make it work, when in the end it's still just not going to work. And that was exactly the problem here. I spent too much time and too much energy trying to make something work, when I should have been spending my time and energy on getting another canister ready and trying to get that to work, or getting that to work. And then we have a classic problem here. I was fiddling with something on the burner in the forge, which I shouldn't have been messing with. The bell, or the flare at the end of the burner, was way too hot, because that is one thing I have a problem with on my forge, is that's not set up properly. And I know it's not, and I need to get it set up better, but I probably won't. It's not insulated enough around the flare of the burner, and it fell right off because of a problem with the screw. I tried to mess with it a little bit more to get it to work, and I'm still having a little bit of trouble with it, but as of now I have a temporary fix, and I'm going to be ordering a new one to get on the way and get it fixed up. But yeah, don't just screw around with things when you don't need to. That's another lesson from this. So the two lessons from this video: don't don't keep banging on a piece of steel, or don't even if you're doing something in your regular day life, don't do something that is worthless, that's not going to work. Don't keep doing it and trying to make it work when it's obvious it's not going to. The second thing is, don't mess with something when you don't need to. Alright, now we've learned two things today. How are we feeling, class? Hope we're feeling pretty good. Alright, but as far as you know, I got it to kind of work, and whoop-de-doo-dah day, life and all. BS, whatever. But, yeah, that's what's happening here. And we're going to cut this and get on with the video. The forge got working again, and I'm still trying to work a piece of steel that shouldn't be worked. Just to emphasize that. It's annoying.
So what just happened is I messed with the thing too hot. That valve came off the burner. So I have to get a new valve. Or, yeah, it's okay.
So, yeah, about 10 minutes later, I figured out it was a piece of crap. Made a new canister. This was about 4 or 5 o'clock. I forged till about 8, so I forged for another 3-4 hours. And that canister worked because I just used regular ball bearings and powdered steel with a little bit of broken pieces from other parts of Damascus. Those pieces cracked off, and the top was not usable, but the bottom was. The bottom is what has become this knife blank that I've made now. The next video will just be fit and finish. We'll get it all done. Handle, hardening, etching, all that. It's going to be all in that one video. I'm going to go through it, explain it while I'm doing it. And, I mean, it's already rough ground, but we're going to get the sharpening, the hardening, and everything done for you. So, this is the Badmouth Blacksmith signing off. Have a good night, everybody.